Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, I don't know what Pato will do. He said he would do something.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this episode. So this is Pato, and I didn't do anything in the end. I was gonna say because I didn't have time, but I did. So I think maybe I'll just comment on some of the stuff that Gabriel says in his part. Okay.
I don't know what Pato will do. He said he would do something with, I'm off. So I did a quick recording, and this time I wrote it down on paper. So if it feels like I'm reading something, it's because I am. All right, I'm off. Bye.
I just want to say that I love the intro music that Gabriel produced, so props to him. I dance to it almost every time it comes on, so hope you do too.
All right, I'm off. Bye. Hey, we wanted to record an episode regardless of the summer break. So yeah, here it is. I'm going to Greece today, actually. I'm excited.
Doesn't Gabriel's recording remind you of some sort of long lost friend that's writing you with this music? He's I always imagine that he's sitting on his bed with his head on a pillow, his feet are wiggling in the air, maybe writing in his journal. He's the protagonist of some sort of made up story he's made up in his head. Anyway. I hope me interrupting the podcast isn't annoying. I figured people would want a break from Gabriel every so often on this episode, so that's where I come in, and I'm gonna do it a lot less now. I know I've done it a lot in the first 1 minute. Anyway, back to I'll stop for a little bit unless something egregious happens.
I'm excited. Oh, I'm going to Mykonos, which is different than Greece because, my friend saw Matt Damon yesterday in Mykonos. Sally. Well, hold on. Sally's my friend that met Matt Damon in Mykonos yesterday. He's also in Mykonos because we're gonna do a friend trip. Barbara, I, and Sally. Just one friend. Sally's in Mykonos is what I'm trying to say. I wanted to have a fun trip this summer, and it's weird to go to Mykonos. It feels weird. Mykonos is the trashiest island of all of the Mediterranean. Maybe Malta's a little bit trashier, actually, now that I think. I met a girl from Malta once. She reminded me of white trash Brazilians. The same vibe. It felt like I knew her somehow. Nothing wrong with that. Being white trash is fine, but it amused me that white trash is a worldwide phenomenon, not just an American or Brazilian phenomena. I'm excited to go to Greece. I'm excited to see my friend Saleh. It's been a while since I've seen him. I'm excited that there's a possibility that I'll see Matt Damon. Funny story, it's actually the second time Saleh saw Matt Damon. So Matt Damon's in Mykonos, and he randomly saw him at this club called Scorpion that's in Mykonos. It's a electronic music club. It's pretty nice. Matt Damon was there, and he called me yesterday saying, "Dude, Matt Damon's fucking here. He just brushed my shoulder." And I was like, "Oh fuck, that's awesome." And I arrived today, one day after that, so I don't know if I'll see him. But then Saleh said, actually, this is the second time I see Matt Damon in my life. He's a twice Matt Damon watcher, seer. It's a bird, bird watching. But instead, it's Matt Damon watching. And yeah, I just thought it was funny. If my life was a novel, my friend Saleh seeing Matt Damon twice randomly in his life is actually a good little trick to confuse the reader.
I don't know where he was going with that. I don't know why, if he would to write a biography of his life, there would be a part where he would be confusing the reader that his friend saw Matt Damon twice. I do like the idea of there being like a Matt Damon watching club. I don't think that when he meant that he met a girl from Malta and she was trashy, that all of Malta is trashy. I don't think he meant that. But that it sure sounded like it, that's for sure. And I don't know if he's even gone to Malta, but I think it would make more sense if he did. Actually, now that I think about it, I think what he actually meant was that he actually went to Malta and it was a pretty trashy place, rather than basing his whole Malta theory off of that one encounter. Anyway, I'm just speculating here. Let's go back to the podcast.
A good little trick to confuse the reader of the novel. Anyway, I moved. I'm recording this from my new apartment. I'm not gonna do video today because Pato was having a hard time editing the videos. So Pato, just do whatever you want, the fuck you want with this.
Okay, I am gonna have to pause here because he's talking about me and I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I wasn't having a hard time editing the videos. I don't know what he means by this. Just throwing me under the bus like that. Yeah, here I am actually editing a video currently. I'm just doing some voiceover. Anyway, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Back to the podcast.
So Pato, just do whatever you want, the fuck you want with this, but no video. I'm happy with this new apartment, dude. It sounds like it's not a big deal, but dude, I was living, like it was an okay apartment. People told me it's an okay apartment for Madrid, but dude, the walls were literally like cracking down and falling apart, and I felt like I was in like I don't know. I didn't like it there, and I underestimated how important it is to have like a place that you're happy about. Like this apartment, dude, is all refurnished, and the sofa matches the walls, which is like a cool little detail. The owner of this apartment really did it up nicely. Like the ceilings are super modern. All the lights work with like a remote controller, which is awesome. It's really like cool. I feel like I'm like a cool guy, and I have I can see all of Madrid, which is also pretty cool. Like, I was riding yesterday during the night, and I was like, my office now has a view of the 4 towers of Madrid and all of the skyline of Madrid, and I can kind of see everything. And like, it was all the lights were like blinking. I was like, holy shit, dude, this is a nice view. And yeah, so I'm happy with my new apartment.
So a couple notes here. Is the sofa matching the walls a cool detail? That's up for debate. I've never thought about that once in my life. To be fair, I'm not like an interior designer, so I don't know much about like interior design. But like, wouldn't it just like blend in? And then I don't know. It's like, where's my couch? Oh, it's over there. It's like, because it blends in. I don't know. That's dumb. He says cool a lot too. Have you guys noticed that? I think I wrote like, you need to like find a couple more adjectives in your life. Is cool an adjective? That's adjective, adverb, adjective, verb, adjective, adverb, cool. It's an adjective. Fuck you. Anyway, it is nice to have a modern apartment in Madrid. Like, most of my friends' apartments are like run down and 100 years old. But when you do go to a modern apartment, it's a breath of fresh air. So anyway, back to the podcast.
So I'm happy with my new apartment. But after all, like, I'm still in like a workers' neighborhood where my neighbors get drunk and wake up after 12 o'clock. Like, I can see my neighbors' windows also from my apartment, and they're all the blinds are closed. Which it's already like close to 12. And people in Spain say, oh yeah, that's just a cultural thing in Spain. We wake up later.
Okay, I've never like heard this once in my life, that this is like a cultural thing. I don't know really where this is coming from. He's just like going off on a rant about Spaniards being alcoholics, just like. But I don't know. Maybe it comes from somewhere. I just had to say something.
We wake up later, dude. That's just an excuse of being drunk as a society. There's no reason to wake up and go to sleep so late. There's no like, oh, the sun here is the time. There's nothing about anything else outside of the fact that everyone kind of drinks like 2 beers or 3 before going to bed here in Madrid. That's actually also a lie, but I just mean it's funny that all the blinds are shut in front of my office right now.
Okay, that's crazy that he would just make up something like that. He says like, oh, these Spaniards are alcoholics. They're having beers before going to bed and waking up past 12 o'clock. And then the next sentence is like, that was just that's made up. I just made that up. I told you, I'd never heard of this. All right, let's go. What's this guy saying
right now? And I think it's nice. I love it, dude. I live in like, now I'm really in the center of my neighborhood. Before I was a little bit outside, but now I'm in a building that's right in the middle of Moratalas. That's the neighborhood, and Moratalas is like a workers' neighborhood, right? And it's so full of life. Like I can, from my balcony, I can see like all the bars below my building. And it's always packed, and it's so fun, dude. It's so fun. I realized now that I moved, I definitely always want to live in a city. Maybe that'll change in the future. I don't know. But I love Moratalas, dude, because it's like a small city inside of a big city. People act like it's a small city. Like they act like small city folk. Like they're kind. They say hi to you when you're in the street, you know. They usually go to the bodega rather than like a fancy restaurant. There isn't any here, but like the bodegas are packed every night.
So this could just be like my ignorance, maybe, that I don't know what a bodega in Spain is, because I've never heard this term used here. Like normally I've heard it used in New York, where they refer to bodegas as corner stores, or like they refer to corner stores as bodegas. I don't really know what he means by a bodega here. He says it's like a restaurant, a less expensive restaurant, I think is what he implied, but I've never heard that. Anyway, I also like the fact that he said I can see all the bars that are packed, and it's so fun. But not that he's at the bars, but you can see them that they're packed, and it's so fun. And I just like that Gabriel finds it fun watching other people have fun. Back to the podcast.
But also the people that live here know perfectly well that a few metro stops away is like a buzzing metropolis filled with like rich people and gypsies. And I like that. I think that's awesome. Does that make me like left-wing, that I like a worker's name? I feel at home here. My father is so disappointed that I moved to another apartment in the same neighborhood, like in Moratalas, and that I haven't moved to like a posher neighborhood like Majadahonda, which is like a very famous posh, like Las Rosas, which is also very posh. Like he came to visit me once, and he was like a little bit upset about the place that I lived. Like he was, like my father pretends he's proud. That's what he does. Okay? I'm not gonna speak about my father not being proud of me, because that is none of your business. But he is. Kinda. And you know what's funny? I was going through my little notebooks where I would write little diary entries, and also like little short poems. And it was just pretty cool, because like I found one from 2018. Because in the move, I was unpacking all of my notebooks that I carry. And like 2018, dude, that's like 6 years ago. I've been writing shit since 6 years. And like the year I moved, 2018 is the year I moved to Spain. And the first couple of pages in this notebook is like, it's me in like a proper voice. Trying to like, I was reading a lot of Jordan Peterson back then. And I was trying to come up with like a life plan. I was like 20. So there's this one entry which I say like, in 4 years, like literally this is what it said: I'm going to be an internationally known businessman and a millionaire. That didn't happen. But I read those and I felt bad for myself, because first of all, Oh, that's cute. That I thought that was gonna happen. And second, that's my dad's voice. Like I was writing, that wasn't me. I was writing whatever my dad would want me to write in those pages back then. And I was trying to emulate, whatever he thought of me, or what he planned for me, which again is none of your business. So fuck you.
So I'm not gonna say that Gabriel has daddy issues. I'm not gonna say that because he mostly said that himself. And Jordan Peterson, like, fuck. I didn't really know who he was a couple months ago, so I saw a couple of interviews with him, and I honestly didn't understand like a word that came out of his mouth. He speaks like in tongues. This man, he uses like the most complex words, and I don't know, man. He's kind of a reprehensible person, and I don't know why people like him. So I do want to read a couple of quotes from this past segment. The first one is, "A few metro stops away is a buzzing metropolis with rich people and gypsies." Okay, the next one. "Does that make me left-wing that I like a worker's neighborhood?" I don't think so, no. And the last that I wrote down, I was going through my little notebooks where I would write little diary entries and also little short poems. Oh, okay. Back to the podcast.
And then as you like read on the pages of that notebook, there is like this hilarious page which is about like the third or fourth, so it's not very far along. It's actually quite early in the notebook, where I start to like it starts off nice. Like the first phrase is like a young businessman saying, "Today I'm going to I don't know, like figure out my finances and how my finance should look like." Like I started writing some bullshit, and then I put 3 dots. So intentionally put 3 dots after that phrase, and then the next phrase is actually written down in all caps. Oh my fucking god, what the fuck am I talking about? And then that page is just fully me just putting like the worst curse words that could come up in my head, and so it's all caps all throughout the page, like lick my clit, suck my butthole.
Wouldn't it be lick my butthole and suck my clit?
And up until that page, nothing like that at all, which I think it's funny, which goes to show that like I was dying to let that part out in some way, So like I was trying to emulate my dad, but something inside of me really wanted to. Like up until that page, it was all like, I want to have a company, studying in an Ivy League school, and and then it just end up writing about like exclusively about jerking off and shit. It's funny. It's like I was kind of carving out who I truly am all those years since 2018, and at the beginning I still was like really into not being who I am. And then finally, like the weird part, like I feel like today like I'm really connected to this inner part of my psyche, and what bums me out is that I still only talk about like dicks and vaginas.
This is very true. I think most of Gabriel's rhetoric revolves around masturbation and dicks. I don't think so much about vaginas, actually, to be honest with you, but for sure masturbation, cum, and dicks. Now, is this a problem? Some might say that it's a problem. Some people might say that. I might be one of those people.
And I do that on stage for everyone to see. So yeah, my father isn't proud. I don't blame him. He's fine. Of course, imagine being like a businessman in Brazil in the 80s and having like a hard time to pay your bills.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit outside of my scope of imagination to imagine myself being a businessman in Brazil in the 80s, struggling to pay their bills. That's just me.
Really struggling to make a living and kind of being like a little racist and really posh all your life, really like put together. and then you have like a son, everything is going well for you, and you know, like all you know is being a businessman in Brazil and a little racist, and your kid decides to like after 20 years like go live in Spain of all places.
Me personally, I would love to know like what a little bit racist is. Like, I know why my grandma was a little bit racist. It's because she thought Asian people had soul to size, and she said that to me and to my face, and I just had to nod and be like, okay, grandma. But she is amazing. No, I don't want to bring my grandma down. Rest in peace. Also, how can you be posh and struggling to pay your bills? What's going on there? I don't know. Maybe you're not so posh.
Which is like a very socialistic place, and find stand-up comedy as a way to like lay out very sexually frustrated thoughts for everyone to see. So yeah, he tries to be proud, but like he knows I'm happy and shit, you know, and I'm working hella hard too. It's not like I'm doing this as just for fun and games. I'm actually like trying to carve out a true personality here, you know. Oh, one of my neighbors just woke up. They're now smoking in their terrace. They both look like they're like 50 years old. Yeah, I'm not gonna judge them. I've been up since 7, guys. I'm 28. Figure your shit out. Anyways, this is my dad talking to my neighbor. I don't care that they woke up late and they're probably hungover. If my son was like a young man already and all he wanted to do is have like sex with a horse on stage, I don't think I'll get it. Like, I don't think I will be cool with it. I'm not saying I'm better than my dad. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's like, I think like, I don't know. Like, what I'm saying is maybe having sex with a horse on stage is the equivalent of today's stand-up comedy to my brain. So you never know.
Like, what made you make the leap between stand-up comedy and having sex on stage with a horse? I don't know why bestiality is on your mind, but you know, maybe there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying?
You never know how conservative you're gonna be until someone starts fucking a horse on stage. And they say that whoever's opposed to having sex with horses is actually a racist, and like people ostracize you for it. So somehow having sex with a horse is a natural thing that I need to let my son get completely wrecked in his anus by a horse's giant cock.
Whoa there.
I hope Barbara's in listening. Yeah, she isn't. Yeah, this apartment is big, dude. Like, she can be in a whole different area of the apartment. She won't listen. This is awesome, dude. I love this place. If I ever have a son, and whenever he reaches the point in time that he goes like to school and have little friends, and the friends' parents start to like take interest in like, oh, who's my son hanging out with, and like people started to like investigate my podcast in my notebooks for whatever reason. I think I need to burn these, is what I mean. Like, if I ever have a son, unless I get like famous from these shitty podcasts, but if by then I still like, if by when I have a son I still only have like 10 people listening, I'm for sure deleting these fucking things, dude. No one should hear these. Imagine my poor kid's shock when like him and his middle school buddies, like, they're all having a sleepover and decide like, oh, let's listen to your dad's podcast, and I'm talking about how my son will want to get fucked by a horse on stage. My main point is I'm going on vacation tomorrow to Mykonos. Mykonos has like a high potential of having people there that fuck horses. Matt Damon is probably fucking a horse right now in Mykonos, and I really want to go. I love my neighborhood. I don't think I'll leave here very soon because I feel like people wouldn't judge me here for who I'm not. Like, I'm not a rich businessman, so I like living in places where most people aren't that either. Like, most people here probably fucking horses. Not on stage, but they probably fucked a goat. My dad is a nice guy, but he is confused as to why I'm talking about like my hypothetical son fucking a horse on stage and uploading it for as many people to listen to as I can. And I'm happy with my life. I can see all of Madrid's skyline now. Like this feels like a step up. Like nothing changed. Like I still have my same salary. I'm paying more for rent than before. But somehow having a nicer apartment emulates the feeling of going up in life. So if you're down in the dump, move. Go somewhere else. Start a new life. Fuck a horse. Anyway, have a good summer, silly boys. Oh, by the way, last episode I said if you're a woman and you listen to this, send me a DM. No one sent me a DM, which means no women listen to it. I confirmed my thesis. So we can be a little sexist here and people won't mind because there isn't any women here. So if you guys want to get a little rough and rowdy, this is the place. It's a boys club. Just joking. Just joking.
So overall, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. It was enjoyable, insightful into Gabriel's life. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm being too nice. Have a nice little summer break, and we'll be back next week with hopefully something better than this.